I analyzed 30 months of my life only to realize the importance of taking notes or doing to-do lists. And today I'm gonna basically just shrink all of the information that I learned from those 30 months that I have analyzed. So to give you only the juices of which you can use in a way that for me it changed my life. So hopefully it will change yours too. And this is what we're hoping for. So one of the first things that I'll start with is I'm right now checking one of the boxes from my to-do list, which is sports. I'm doing right now sports. I'm walking, as you can see, and obviously after I tracked 30 months of my life, I realized that sports actually affect my overall state, and in the best version, hypothetically, I should be doing sports. So I realized that the easiest form of sport would be just to follow what I have already in my phone, which is the fitness app, which already have calculated for me 150 calories a day to burn every single day as a goal. So I said, all right, it's amazing. However, today, actually, it was a rough day. I had a huge mission in the morning. I had a very big, huge mission in the morning. And it took basically, it started at 4 a.m. I woke up at 4 a.m. and I didn't actually stop until about, let's say, 2 p.m. So you do the calculations. It was a tiring mission, obviously. So then I prepared food, I took care of the house, stuff like that, of which just mean that I didn't have time for me to walk so I can achieve my goal. If being honest, I was on the bridge of giving up on my today's sports checklist, but I was reading the book The Richest Man in Babylon, and because also it's one of the boxes that I have to check. And one quote that actually interested me the most, of which I decided to share it with you today, which he says like this. He was talking to the poor, of which they wanted to learn from his knowledge. Alright, I'm gonna let them pass. So these poor people wanted to learn from his knowledge. And he said to them like this, he went like this. He said, for me, if I said I'm gonna do something, I will do it regardless of how I feel. If I said I'm gonna throw a stone, if I said that I'm gonna throw a stone for every day I cross this bridge into the stream, then I will do it for the next 30 days. I will do it regardless. If in the day number 7 somehow I have forgotten to do that, and I went on, I will not say that tomorrow I will throw 2 rocks, but instead I will track my traces back and I will throw that rock, which is exactly what happens to me. I was in the same position of which I was throwing the rock, which is basically walking and checking my fitness app goals, and I was very tired that I wanted to sleep, but at the same time I had goals to achieve. I analyzed 30 months of my life. If I do not put it into real practice based on the decision that I have made based on my evaluations, then basically nothing is worth it. So, as I started this, it's all about to-do lists. When I finished my analysis of the 30 months, I realized that now I am with a decision of making a decision. I have to make a decision. Why? Because otherwise everything will be worthless. So I said, all right, I have to make a decision based on every factor, every habit that I tracked, which were 18 of them. 18 different habits across 30 months of my life. And by the way, to-do list was not one of them, okay? Even that is the title of this video, I realized its importance without even tracking it on that board. So I ended all of the analysis, I did all of my decisions, I realized, what was my best period of my life and why that was the best period of my life. And I realized, well, here's the worst period of my life, and this is why it's the worst period of my life. Okay? Alright. I really suspect someone that trying to steal like my phone. So I'm changing the trajectory. Alright, I'm sorry. But I have to do these things to avoid being my phone being stolen. So as I told you, I realized that I have to make it into practice. So I decided that I'm gonna make a to-do list out of all of them, because in the best period of my life, I did to-do lists, right? In the worst period of my life, I realized that I was not doing a lot of those, of the 18 metrics. Okay, great. So how can I put it into practice? By doing to-do lists. So I made a to-do list of 18 metrics that I have to track every day, regardless. All right. So if I really want to achieve the best version of myself, then I must focus on checking all of those boxes, which is 18 boxes based on 18 habits that I have tracked. Otherwise, all of it will be pointless. So you're probably asking yourself a few questions, which is one, if I didn't analyze myself, why do I need a to-do list? Probably it's just for you because you analyze 30 months of your life. It's something that might not be available for me. Alright, great. It's a great idea. Idea number 2 that might pop up in your head, which is to-do list might not work for me. Great. Keep it in your mind. The idea number 3, which might also pop up in your mind, which is, how do I know if it is the best option for me? So I'm gonna answer all of the 3 questions right now ASAP, and it will not take time. The first thing, even if you didn't analyze yourself, which I recommend you doing so, you have to put some sort of to-do list to visualize in your head which one is the best version of yourself, because otherwise you cannot be that best version on just guesswork. Even if you can guesswork, if I were you, I will not put my conscious effort each and every single day on what? On making small decisions. The best version of yourself is not some crazy man. It's literally you, but doing stuff differently. So when you put it in that way, you realize that, well, you have to think that way. So you have to visualize what is the best version of yourself, then put it into to-do list, which will make it very practical in an instant, which is an absolutely game changer when it comes to these things, because a lot of people say, I'm trying to become the best version of myself back to back, while they don't have any sort of to-do lists. Number 2 questions that popped up into your head, which is, what if it was not for me? To-do list is not for me. Okay, amazing. It might not be for you, sure, but I'm gonna tell you what I found. So for the past 5 years, I have done different types of to-do lists, and journaling, to-do lists, social media, documentation, filming, whatever pops up in your head, I've done that. And I realized that, well, to-do lists is the best option, is the best way to do so. So that's what I found. And guess what? 1 month, my life has changed because of one to-do list that I have done based on my analysis of 13 months of my life, tracking 18 different metrics. Doesn't that sound good? Yes? amazing. So I hope that after this video you go on two options. One, you make an analysis of yourself of the last 13 months, tracking 18 habits that you have, of which will obviously undercover a lot about yourself of which you don't know. Number two, you make a to-do list out of the 18 habits and which answer is the best suited for them. Obviously you have another option, which is not to do it, which is, look, in life it's not like in school. In school there is a lot of wrong answers and only one correct answer. But in life there is a lot of right answers and one wrong answer, which is doing nothing.